Happy Diwali, everyone. This is me, Sarang, wishing you all a happy Diwali from Auckland, New Zealand. Well, Diwali is celebrated all over the world, being the festival of lights. It's a similar case out here in Auckland. I did attend the one of the Diwali events in Manukau, which is a suburb of Auckland. And this is the last video in continuation of the series, which explains my journey through my mature student decision to come here to New Zealand to pursue my post-graduation. So this was pending for long, I know, so apologies. Also, I feel that the entire journey for the past 15 months has been really a great learning. Also, it imbibed a lot of values. It made me unlearn and then learn through my new experiences. Going to a new country was not for the first time in my life. I've traveled to a couple of countries in my career, both on business as well as for personal reasons. However, the main thing that I observed in New Zealand, it's responsible citizenship. I think that's the best term to explain the psyche and the culture of the Kiwis here. They're just about 5 million in number, and if you compare, it's just 25% of the population of Mumbai, being 20 million. So imagine, it's a very small country. And for an international student from larger countries, or especially Asian countries like India or China or probably Bangladesh, which are very densely populated, it comes as a culture shock that the roads are mostly empty. There's not much of nightlife unless you're sitting out there in the city or the CBD of Auckland. If you live in the suburbs, though, it's much quieter. So the cultural change has to be taken in. Also, the kind of people that you meet are truly international, because we do have a lot of international students coming in. There have been a lot of settlers here, a lot of migrants who came here like as long as probably 50 years ago. I met a gentleman who was driving an Uber. He was born in like 1940 and his parents came in 1928. So imagine that. New Zealand has always been on the radar for settlers as well. And of course, the white population mostly coming in from the UK and different parts of Europe. And then we had the Asian settlers after the Maori settlement, which started coming in from the Polynesian and the Melanesian islands around New Zealand. So today, New Zealand is a good mix of the original inhabitants, which we fondly call them as Pacific Islanders. Then they come in from different parts around the Pacific, like the Polynesia and Melanesia, which were the Maoris. Some of the Maoris also came from Hawaii. We have Tokelauan, we have Niuean, we have Tongan, and we have Samoan races as well as the Cook Island Maoris. So they form a ethnic mix, which we call as Pacific Islanders. Then there are the whites, and then obviously the Asians, which also constitute a large number. So when an international student graduates, he or she has to experience working along with these cultures, which are already there in the country. And most of the recruiters that I've faced are more concerned about how well versed are you to handle different culture rather than how good is your resume. So this is one difference that we all need to work on, coming from a country like India, where more preference is given to qualifications and experience. Here they really care about how good are you in handling cultural and religious and various kinds of diversities. If you can work well with people, again, as I've explained in my blog, it mainly relates to seeing the person in whole rather than their CV. So make good use of networking, There are a lot of apps like Meetup and Eventbrite for an international student to download and meet people. Most of these meets are complimentary. You just have to attend them, which are mostly in different parts of cities like Auckland. And I have made good use of these networking events, have made strong connections on LinkedIn and different social media platforms. And they really, really helped me in fetching my jobs as well. So the last part of the video is all about how did the government and the medical facilities took care during the pandemic. I've already explained to you all in bits and parts, and I, for one, have benefited from different organizations coming forward for extending their hand in providing me groceries, which were like a monthly ration of groceries, which was really well enough. And I, in fact, distributed a lot of them to my roommates and people who didn't avail of those groceries as well. I informed a lot of other people as well. So it was more of a community and a brotherhood effect that everybody benefited. I also got hardship funds from my college. Then we had a lot of landlords not extending their rental contracts. However, due to the pandemic, they froze on increasing the rents at least. Some of them even gave a little leeway to late payments. So a lot of changes did happen because of the pandemic. As far as the employers are concerned, most of the bigger employers, they got wage subsidies to pay their employees as well as take care of the overheads to a tune of $150,000. So that was a big amount. Most people who were driving Uber and Ola taxi services, they just got like straight up $7,000 in their bank accounts, which sufficed them for like 12 weeks payment. So these are the major support systems that the government floated across to give that confidence to the citizens and the permanent residents as well as the employers of New Zealand. And that's probably one of the strongest reasons why the current Prime Minister, who got re-elected for her second term, Ms. Jacinda Ardern, that kind of cemented her strong footing in the election bid, because I think the recent change, public memory is pretty short, and they remember all the good things that a leader does for their country. So I think as an international student, we could only expect that the immigration soon releases the restrictions on applying for our temporary visas for our spouse and our children back home. And then we should be able to get closer to our dreams of settling down. So this is me, Sarang, signing off from this video series. I hope you guys enjoyed it and it was informative for all of you back home in India. Thank you so much.